Where shall I begin? I am Louis, son of Charlemagne, Emperor of the Romans and King of the Franks. It was in the year 814 when the weight of empire descended upon my shoulders, following the death of my illustrious father. His legacy was daunting, a vast realm spanning from the Pyrenees to the Danube, united under a Christian crown. I stood as his chosen successor, determined to preserve his work and guide our people with faith and justice. I was crowned in Aachen, the city of my father's court, a solemn occasion marked by the prayers of bishops and the cheers of my subjects. My reign began with fervent hope, but the burden of empire is never light. My first acts as emperor reflected my resolve to cleanse the court of moral corruption. I dismissed concubines and reformed ecclesiastical appointments, determined to restore purity to the church and nobility alike. I was nicknamed the Pious for my devotion, but my piety, some whispered, made me weak. They would learn otherwise. The unity of the empire was my greatest challenge. My father had divided lands among his sons, but by God's will, I inherited it all. Still, I was a father too, with sons of my own: Lothair, Pepin, Louis, and later Charles. To ensure the empire's stability, I issued the Ordinatio Imperii in 817, a decree dividing the realm among my heirs. Yet this act, born of careful planning, would become the root of discord. Sons, it seems, are rarely content with what they are given. My reign was not without military trials. The Bretons to the west and the Danes to the north sought to test my resolve. I led my armies to secure the empire's borders, often with the cross held high, for I believed my duty as emperor was not only to govern but to defend Christendom itself. Yet, even as I confronted external threats, the seeds of rebellion grew within my own house. My sons, once obedient, turned against me. In 830, they accused me of favoritism toward my youngest son, Charles, whom I had granted a portion of the empire. Their betrayal was a dagger to my heart. They raised armies against me, and for a time, I was deposed, a humbling moment for any man, let alone an emperor. In the dark hours of my captivity, I sought solace in prayer, asking God to guide me. In His mercy, I was restored to my throne, but the scars of betrayal lingered. Despite these hardships, I strove to uphold justice and faith. I called councils to reform the church and secure its independence from worldly powers. I worked tirelessly to strengthen the bond between the throne and the altar, for I believed the empire was a sacred trust. As the years passed, I felt the weight of age and the wounds of strife. By 840, my body was frail, though my spirit remained steadfast. My final days were spent in prayer, preparing for the journey beyond this world. I died knowing that the empire I sought to preserve would soon fracture, as my sons battled for supremacy. Yet, I do not regret my efforts. I ruled as a servant of God, striving to uphold peace and faith in turbulent times. My name, Louis the Pious, reflects my greatest aspiration, to live and govern as a devout man. Though the world remembers me as a flawed ruler, I trust that history also sees the heart of a father, an emperor, and a servant of the Almighty. And now, as my soul rests in eternity, I leave my tale to you. Remember it not as a mere chronicle of events but as the journey of a man burdened with greatness, striving always to honor God and His people.